tonight on Denver 7 News at 6.
It feels like it's kind of like every person for themselves.
Brew another pot of coffee and keep the laptop charger close. We're going on a vaccine stakeout.
You just got to refresh and try and click as fast as you can, I guess.
Still a lot of snow showing up on the radar. How many more inches overnight?
A Colorado lawmaker draws a line in the sand on when police can interrupt protests.
Just because there are a few bad actors doesn't mean that everyone else should lose their First Amendment rights.
Another Coloradan is arrested following the Capitol riots.
Denver Mayor Michael Hancock escapes punishment for his misguided Thanksgiving trip.
Construction stalls at the National Western Center.
And a Contact Denver7 investigation leads to action at the state level.
And if this happened to us, it's happening to everyone. And I just hate that.
Walk the dog sooner than later and bundle up because the snow is settling in. Good evening and thanks for watching Denver 7. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Now, it's not going to be a major storm, but you're not going to want to be out in it. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson joins us with how much snow we're going to get and when it will stop. Mike?
It should be done pretty much by daybreak, and 1 to 3 is a good bet around the Denver area, heavier to the west and to the south. This is the view currently over downtown. This is what the temperatures look like. It is cold enough for that to be a pretty slick combination, and temperatures continuing to drop across eastern Colorado. Winter weather advisory extends from southeast Aurora all the way down past Monument Hill, all the way down to Raton Pass. And we do have snow that is on the increase all along the I-25 corridor. Pretty good band of snow that's just north of Fort Collins now. So you get some slick conditions on I-25, Highway 85 as well. Denver area, we're seeing heavier snow starting to move out of Jefferson County down into Douglas County. Pretty good band out by DIA as well. So overnight tonight, we'll get the light snow. It'll be pretty dry, fluffy stuff, slick up the roads. Clearing and cold tomorrow. Another chance of snow coming in late Saturday into early Sunday, but then a big warm-up in the extended outlook.
All right, thank you, Mike. Well, the 5th lawsuit now has been filed against the city of Denver over tactics used during the George Floyd demonstrations.
Attorneys say Russell Strong was protesting peacefully when he was hit in the face with a foam round. Strong would...
It's something that I'm still trying to process. I didn't go there mentally prepared for that to happen to me, and wasn't at any point did I ever think I would be in a clash with the police.
And stories like Strong's have inspired a Colorado State Senator to propose new rules of engagement for protesters and police.
Denver 7's Lance Hernandez tonight on how that would work and why some think it's impractical.
Yeah, so I think the bill is about creating some clarity.
Under Senator Jeff Bridges' proposal, police would not be allowed to disperse protesters unless they were acting in concert, posing an imminent threat of personal injury or significant property damage. He says every effort must be made to differentiate between those trying to escalate and those acting peacefully.
Just because there are a few bad actors doesn't mean that everyone else should lose their First Amendment rights.
It puts law enforcement in a bad spot again.
Senator John Cook, the one-time sheriff of Weld County, says the wording is so broad there's no clear definition of significant.
I don't see the need for the bill, actually, because already if somebody is going to cause, bodily injury, that's already a crime. And committing damage to, private property or public property like this Capitol is already a crime as well. We just need to enforce it.
Where I went there just to be a peaceful kind of placeholder almost in the movement, because they need numbers, they need allies.
Attorney Felipe Bonnet Gomez represents Russell Strong, who lost an eye when police tried to disperse protesters May 30th.
There was no reason to target Russell, and there was no reason to target any of the people near him.
Bonnet Gomez supports Bridges' bill, which would give police guidance as to when they can intervene against protesters seeking a redress of grievances. Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.
An Aurora police officer has been fired for leaving work early and lying about it on his timesheet. The officer had been with Aurora since 2017. This is the first and last complaint filed against him.
Glenn Croy of Colorado Springs is the latest Coloradan to be arrested for his role in the Capitol riots. Federal prosecutors say Croy is the man seen here posing next to a statue of Abraham Lincoln. In other photos, he appears bleary-eyed, perhaps as a result of pepper spray. Croy will be charged with crimes related to unlawful entry of the Capitol, and he was released today on bond.
2 of the 3 teens charged with the murder of the Gio family will remain in jail at least until next Friday when they appear in court again. There's a third suspect, a 15-year-old boy, still being processed in the juvenile system. Prosecutors have suggested they will request he also be tried as an adult.
A snowmobiler remains missing more than 24 hours now after an avalanche near Ruby Mountain. That's just southeast of the town of Rand in Jackson County. 10 people have been killed by avalanches in Colorado just this year.
Well, Colorado with another 1,100 cases of the virus today and 1 death. 482 people are in the hospital tonight. The positivity rate, 3.5%.
And the state health department is monitoring 830 active outbreaks tonight, and that's actually an improvement. Among the latest to make the list are Bowder Elementary School in Fort Collins, Franktown Fire and Rescue, and 2 Walmarts in Colorado Springs. Colorado
administered 27,000 doses of the vaccine today. Some appointments were set up through employers. Others were won in the dead of night with bleary eyes and bottomless pots of coffee. Denver7's Gary Brode has that.
It's been a mess. I mean, trying to find an appointment.
This educator in Arvada was having trouble booking a spot for the shot until a couple of days ago.
I wouldn't expect that Walmart and vaccine for COVID would kind of go hand in hand.
It took a bit of persistence, a lot of refreshing, and tons of web browsers.
I was up at midnight or up at 11:45, refreshing all the Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, all those sites. And then at like 12 o'clock, the Walmart one refreshed and there was stuff open in Denver.
And therein lies the trick. A nightly alarm just before midnight to refresh website after website. It's an idea first shared on the Colorado Vaccine Hunters Facebook page.
Nobody is up at midnight, so the people that are the very people needing these shots are not able to get what they need.
Krista McFarland worries her parents and others in the 65 and up group won't be able to access the site because of the time of night.
I had to screenshot like my confirmation and just send it to my dad through a text message.
Michael Mingrani lives in Massachusetts. His father lives in Parker. So at 1:45 a.m. Eastern Time, Michael woke up to sign his father up through Walmart's website halfway across the country.
The amount of necessary information that you need in order to book this is not a lot.
The sign-up asks for only the basic information: name, date of birth, and how you're eligible. What problems some are having is the follow-up shots. That Arvada teacher says he got a phone call to schedule a second appointment hours after our interview. Mingrani's dad has yet to get a call.
I know that I scheduled the first dose for him, but I'm not sure anything about the second dose.
We reached out to Walmart and the CDC, and we'll update you when we hear back. Gary Brode, Denver7.
If you're still having trouble making an appointment, we recommend giving the Colorado COVID-19 Vaccine Finder a try. This site was developed by a local computer programmer. It pulls information from CVS, Walmart, and Safeway.
I started to sort of play around in my free time after work and sort of just trying to figure out what was possible, and it was sort of fun. It was a fun puzzle to solve in order to try to figure out how to get this information from all these pharmacies' websites. Obviously, this doesn't solve everything, but if it could be one small part, then I mean that's what makes me happy.
And we appreciate it. However popular this website was before, it is way more popular now. It has been our most viewed story since first airing last night on Denver7 News at 10.
Governor Polis struck a hopeful tone in today's State of the State address. Top of mind, getting through this pandemic and addressing the inequities it has laid bare.
It's often been said during the pandemic that we're all in the same storm, but we're not in the same boat. It's time to ensure that everybody has a sturdy boat to weather any storm that comes our way. As Coloradans, we rise up, we overcome our challenges, not because overcoming is inevitable, because it's not, but because we choose to do the work to fulfill our responsibility. It's who we are, it's what we do.
And we sat down with the governor for a one-on-one interview after his address, and you can find that on thedenverchannel.com. Meanwhile, the Colorado chapter of the GOP did not seem particularly enthused by the governor's speech. They sent us a statement that reads, in part, Colorado families, small businesses, and communities deserve a recovery that includes fully reopening our economy, schools, and restoring the Colorado way of life as quickly and safely as possible.
Denver has approved a $900,000 contract to keep city-sanctioned camping sites going for the year. The money will be divided between the existing location, that one's on Pearl Street and 2nd, and then a yet-to-be-disclosed site. The Colorado Village Collaborative says the project will provide safety and shelter for up to 100 people experiencing homelessness.
An ethics complaint has been dismissed against Denver Mayor Michael Hancock over the now infamous Thanksgiving incident. A review board found that flying out of state while encouraging constituents to stay home is a bad look, but not a violation of city rules.
The National Western Center rebuild may take even longer to finish than expected. The city's hit pause on hiring a contractor to build the promised 10,000-seat arena, expo hall, and parking garage. Construction will move forward in other areas while Denver leaders wait for the economy to rebound.
State Senator Carrie Donovan does not live in the district she would like to wrest away from Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, at least not yet. The 3rd Congressional District will be redrawn this year, and Donovan's home is currently only 3 miles outside the lines. The Donovan family ranch is in District 3, and as are many of the communities she represents in the Colorado legislature.
And Donovan's one of 5 Democrats already running against Congresswoman Boebert. The latest 2 to announce their campaigns, Root Routledge, a Vietnam vet, academic and climate change activist, and Sol Sandoval, a social worker and community organizer from Pueblo.
Coming up,
There's a spot for getting money.
the state is putting tow companies on notice. Viewers say they should have gotten the boot.
Plus, the Avs win, the Nuggets lose, and the Rockies are technically a baseball team. Lionel has highlights in sports.
Get Denver7 news updates on your Alexa-enabled device. Add the Denver7 news skill in the Alexa app, then say, "Alexa, what's my flash briefing?"